Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to unpack two really powerful, super practical lessons from just one story in the Bible. Yeah, you guessed it, from the book of Exodus. We're going to explore how this joyful family reunion, right in the middle of a desert of all places, can teach us so much about celebrating goodness and, just as important, sharing responsibility. Okay, let's dive in. So everything we're about to talk about, it all really hinges on this one single verse from Exodus chapter 18. This is the emotional heart of the whole story. It's a reaction of just pure joy, and it totally sets the stage for some incredibly wise advice that comes later. And this isn't just a historical account. It's basically a blueprint for building a healthy community. Okay, so let's set the scene, get the big picture. Moses has led the Israelites out of Egypt, right? And now they're in the wilderness, and believe me, it's a tough, grinding journey. And right here, smack in the middle of all of that chaos, he has a family reunion with his father-in-law, a guy named Jethro. Now, what's really fascinating here is what Moses actually talks about. He doesn't just say, hey, great to see you. Yeah, we got out. No, not at all. He gives this detailed testimony. He walks Jethro through all the specific ways God has been faithful. The impossible rescue from Egypt, the protection they've had in the wilderness, the victory over their enemies. He's literally painting a picture of God's goodness. And Jethro's response to hearing all this, well, that's what gives us our two big takeaways for today. His reaction comes in two parts. First, there's this explosion of praise. And second, there's a moment of really sharp observation. And right there, that perfectly sets up our two themes: how to celebrate God's work and then how to actually participate in it. All right, let's dive into that first lesson. This one is all about Jethro's joyful, worshipful reaction. It's really about the incredible power of celebrating goodness the moment you see it. So Jethro hears this absolutely incredible story, and right away, he knows exactly who gets the credit. He praises the Lord, and he declares that this rescue, this salvation, came from God and from God alone. And that recognition, that's the very heart of worship. See, it's not just about feeling happy, it's about directing that happiness upward in praise. So why does this matter for us today? Well, let's be real. It's so easy to take God's blessings for granted, right? But when we make a point to actually remember and celebrate what God has done, it does two huge things. First, it strengthens our own faith. And second, and this is just as important, our story encourages the people around us to trust Him too. You know what they say, joy is contagious. Okay, let's shift gears now to the second lesson, and you'll see how this builds on the first. After all this celebrating, Jethro doesn't just pack up and leave. He sticks around for a bit and he just watches. He observes daily life in the camp. And what he sees leads directly to our second crucial lesson, the wisdom of sharing the load. So here's the problem Jethro spots right away. Moses is acting as the one and only judge for hundreds of thousands of people. Think about that. He's working from morning till night, trying to solve every single little dispute all by himself. He's become the bottleneck. He is the only one carrying this absolutely massive burden. And Jethro's assessment is so direct, so powerful. He looks at his son-in-law, the great leader Moses, and just says, what you are doing is not good. Wow. That's not a gentle suggestion, that is a serious warning. He sees exactly where this path leads. Total burnout for Moses and a whole lot of frustration for all the people stuck waiting in that endless line. But the solution he offers is just as clear. Jethro advises Moses to delegate. Simple as that. He says, appoint trustworthy, capable leaders to handle the smaller issues. This would free Moses up to focus on the really tough cases and, importantly, on teaching God's laws. In other words, it's about building a team. And this gets to such a crucial point. God's work was never, ever meant to be a solo act. Think about it. Healthy families, healthy churches, healthy communities, they all run on shared responsibility. This system protects leaders from getting totally exhausted, and it empowers other people to step up and use their gifts. It makes the whole group stronger. All right, so we've got these two fantastic lessons from Jethro: celebrate goodness and share the load. But how do we actually live this out? How do we apply this to our lives right now? Let's get practical and break it down. Okay, for that first lesson, celebrating goodness, honestly, it just starts with speaking up. Just talk about what God is doing in your life. Make it a point to thank Him for specific answered prayers. And when you see spiritual growth, either in yourself or in someone else, celebrate it out loud. Be that person who reminds everyone that God is still at work. And what about that second lesson, sharing the load? Well, the first step is often the hardest one, isn't it? It's just asking for help when you're overwhelmed. But it doesn't stop there. We also need to be actively looking for ways to encourage and train other people to serve. We need to be champions for teamwork in our churches and our families. And hey, when someone offers you wise counsel, like Jethro did for Moses, we need to actually listen with an open heart. Look, if you take away just one single thing from this whole story, let it be this: the foundation for everything else, for real worship, for wise advice, for a healthy community, it all starts with recognizing and celebrating the goodness of God. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to reflect on. Jethro's wisdom literally saved Moses from burning out. So, what about you? Is there a responsibility, a burden, a weight that you're trying to carry completely alone? Maybe, just maybe, today is the day to take that first brave step towards sharing the load.